Hello, my name is Quentin Conrad. My background in terms of employment is actually the only job I've ever had was a lifeguard gig at the aquatic center of my hometown back in Kansas. But in terms of writing background, I have been writing since I was in sixth grade, and I've been writing pretty much every day ever since. In terms of what inspired me to work in the entertainment field, well, first of all, I've always been a storyteller. Like ever since I was a kid, my grandparents would always sit around and listen to me tell like crazy stories that were nothing, but I still just enjoyed telling stories to people. And as I grew older, I realized that I was more inspired by the things I was consuming in the media than like real world events or people necessarily. I've always been a big video game player my whole life, and I have always been inspired by the stories that I've played through and the characters that I've played as or played next to in the video games that I've loved growing up. And I kind of always had a desire to make my own characters and tell my own stories and build my own cool, interesting worlds, and hopefully do something like that for someone else in the future. I believe my former coworkers would describe me as a hardworking, compassionate person um, who does his best to not only further himself in his own career, but also do his best to set a good example and lift up as many other people as possible around me. In terms of where I see myself in 5 years, I imagine I will still be building up my writing career. I will be continuing to write smaller things on the side while picking up jobs like copywriting gigs or like little marketing gigs or freelance work while I work on my own big projects on the side. Um, I'm not a super um, confrontational person, so if I would have a conflict with a coworker, I would do my best to handle it in a diplomatic and civilized way. I wouldn't get too heated about anything because at the end of the day, like we have to work together and we're gonna see each other. So I'd rather that relationship stay amicable at the very least. Um, and would I lie for my boss? Honestly, I need the context of that situation, but generally I would say no. I feel like honesty is more important than potentially lying for a boss, even if it costs me my job, because if that job were ever to fall through, then that lack of honesty would reflect negatively on not only myself like as an employee for future people, but also as a person. Thank you very much for listening.